When they decided to stay with us, I hadn't made any plans. My mind was full of anger on this family trip I didn't even want to take. We ended up at a fancy hotel. My husband, Spencer, acted like he didn't notice how upset I was. He walked away and said casually, "See you at checkout, Emily," leaving me behind. Then he disappeared into the hotel with them. I'm Emily, and I just turned 30. I'm a stay-at-home mom living with my husband, Spencer, my mother-in-law, Kate, and our 3-year-old son, Cian. Spencer and I met on a blind date 7 years ago, fell in love, and got married. We were known as a happy couple with no big problems. 2 years after we got married, Cian was born. Spencer was busy with work but still helped with childcare. I had no complaints, and life felt normal. But after Cian was born, things changed. 6 months ago, Spencer's dad passed away, and Kate moved in with us. The last time I saw Kate, other than at our wedding, was when Spencer and I told her we were getting married. Back then, I didn't like her much. Spencer's dad, though, was kind, and I liked him. I still remember what Kate said back then. "Spencer, are you sure she's the one? She might have a hard time." She said it right in front of me. Spencer worked hard to get her approval, and with help from his dad, she finally agreed. But I thought her words were rude and unnecessary. When she moved in, I was worried about how we'd get along. I tried to stay positive and decided to make an effort. When she arrived with her things, I helped her unpack. She was sweet to Cian, which I appreciated. While she looked after him, Spencer and I unpacked her stuff. He handled the heavy boxes, and I took care of the smaller things. Everything was going fine until she made a comment about a fake plant I placed to brighten the room. "This should go here." "What kind of education did you have?" she said. I was annoyed but decided not to argue. I moved the plant to where she wanted and tried to let it go. Kate watched Cian for a bit, then started watching TV instead of helping me unpack. I was too busy to watch Cian properly, but she scolded me for it. My hands were full, and Spencer was resting after moving heavy boxes, so I had no one to ask for help. I finished tidying up, telling myself Kate was probably just adjusting to her new living situation, even though I felt frustrated. But things didn't improve. Every day, Kate criticized me. One morning, I woke up early to make breakfast for everyone. Later, when I tried to take a break, she told me I should clean the house instead of resting. She was always finding faults in me but never helped around the house herself. Most days, she wasn't even home during the day. The stress was getting to me, so I talked to Spencer. "She's probably struggling after losing Dad. Try to be patient," he said. But he didn't step in or do anything, even though he saw how she treated me. At night, I often lay in bed feeling hopeless. When Cian cried in the middle of the night, I was too tired to get up. Spencer went to him instead, but the noise woke Kate. She stormed into my room and shook me awake. "How can you sleep when your son is crying? Get up! This is a woman's job," she shouted. I didn't argue. I quietly got up and went to Cian, even though I was completely exhausted. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next day, Spencer was home, and I was thinking about what to make for lunch. Before I could start, Kate began cooking. When she served the food, there was one plate missing. "There's no plate for me," I said. "Of course not," she replied. I made lunch for Spencer and my grandson. "You can make your own." I was shocked. I'd been wondering if she was being cruel to me, and now it was clear. For a long time, I told myself she was just trying to push me to be a better wife, but I couldn't ignore it anymore. I stayed quiet, but later, I told my best friend everything. "That's definitely bullying," my friend said. "Are you okay?" I broke down in tears and told her all the details. She listened carefully and tried to comfort me. "You're doing your best, Emily. You're strong, but you shouldn't have to deal with this alone. I'll help you figure something out," she promised. Her words made me feel a little better. One of her ideas was to record what happened at home. I bought a cheap recorder on my way to pick up Sin from daycare and set it up in the house. While cleaning later, I found a piece of paper that had fallen out of Kate's drawer. I picked it up and opened it. What I saw left me stunned. The paper I found was a personal loan agreement for $20,000. I couldn't believe it, but I thought it might be important, so I slipped it into my pocket. Kate returned home, and soon Spencer came in just in time for dinner. As usual, we sat down to eat while Kate complained. "Oh, by the way," she said, "my friend gave me a discount coupon for a one-night stay at a 5-star spa hotel." It seemed like she really wanted to go, and Spencer was all for it. Sin was excited, but I wasn't. I didn't expect the trip to be enjoyable for me. Then Kate surprised me. "Since you're always working so hard, you can come too." I was shocked. After all the trouble she'd caused, I wasn't sure if she was being sincere. I decided to give her the benefit of the doubt and agreed to go, though reluctantly. She said she would book everything the next day. That night, I sat on the couch, unable to sleep, thinking about the trip. Sin wanted to go, but I couldn't take him by myself, and my mom couldn't watch him. Spencer begged me to join, but I didn't want to go. "You never help me when your mom treats me badly," I told him. He couldn't really respond, but he still asked me to come. I agreed, but only if he would agree to my conditions. I showed him the $20,000 loan agreement I had found. He was shocked. "Can we help her pay this off?" he asked, knowing I handled our finances. I refused. I wasn't going to help someone who treated me badly, even if Spencer was her son. "I'll agree to go," I said, "but only if you do 2 things. First, you must step in when Kate mistreats me. Second, we need to make clear rules for her, written down and posted all over the house. If she doesn't follow them, she has to leave." Spencer agreed to my conditions, and I asked my friend to post the rules while we were away. We decided to act like everything was normal until after the trip, and then we'd confront Kate. On the day of the trip, Spencer carried everyone's bags, and we were ready to leave. But as soon as we were about to leave the house, Kate started her usual bullying. Kate snapped, "You don't need to carry the bags. Let Emily do it." Spencer looked at me apologetically, but I did what she said to avoid trouble. The bags were heavy, and it was hard to carry them while also taking care of CN. I didn't think I'd have any energy left to enjoy the hotel. We traveled by bus for part of the way, then drove up a mountain road to the hotel. It was beautiful, and Sin was excited to explore every corner. Kate went to check us in. When I grabbed my bag to go to the room, Kate shocked me by saying, "Did you think you'd stay with us? I only reserved for 3. I was confused and surprised. It was clear she never planned to let me stay. "Where should I sleep, then?" I asked. "I don't know, and I don't care." "Maybe sleep out in the wild," she replied coldly. She actually suggested I sleep in the woods. I was furious and about to yell at her, but she and my family walked off, saying, "We'll see you at checkout." I stood in the lobby, stunned, then decided to leave the hotel. I didn't expect to be forced out like this. I nearly cried. Spencer only texted, "I'm sorry," but I couldn't even reply. It was past noon, so I had lunch at a cafe and found an open field with a great view. My friend called, asking how the trip was going. When I told her what happened, she was furious and offered to pick me up, but I refused. I didn't want to give Kate what she wanted. After hanging up, I contacted a lawyer and sent him the evidence. He told me I had a strong case for emotional abuse if needed. Exhausted, I lay in the field and enjoyed the beautiful night sky, trying to clear my mind. The next morning, I met up with Kate and my family at checkout. Kate immediately mocked me. "Did you sleep in the woods? You look so filthy." Spencer tried to speak up, but Kate quickly changed the subject. She bragged about how nice the hotel was. Sin's smile was the only thing that kept me going. When we got home, Kate yelled, "What is all this? Don't mess with me." The rules I had posted around the house were all over the place. She must have seen them because her face turned red, and she got angry. Spencer then showed her the $20,000 loan document. At first, she denied it, but eventually, she admitted it. She had spent her late husband's life insurance and, when that ran out, borrowed from Spencer. We followed through with our plan. Spencer told her, "I can't have someone with a debt living here. You need to leave." "I have proof of what you've done to me," I said, playing her recorded insults. As she listened, she turned pale. She begged me to let her stay, but I told her she could only stay if she followed the rules and stopped being aggressive. She agreed, apologized, and promised to behave. I found a personal loan agreement for $20,000. I was shocked but kept it, thinking it might be useful. Later, Kate returned, and Spencer came home just in time for dinner. We sat around the table, listening to Kate complain, as usual. Kate then casually mentioned, "My friend gave me a coupon for a one-night stay at a 5-star spa hotel." She clearly wanted to go, and Spencer agreed right away. Sin was excited, but I didn't feel thrilled. I expected the trip to be unpleasant. To my surprise, Kate invited me. "Since you're always working so hard, you can come too," she said. I was doubtful but decided to give her the benefit of the doubt. That night, I couldn't sleep. Sin wanted to go, but I was worried about taking him alone. My mom couldn't watch him, and Spencer begged me to join. Still upset about how he hadn't defended me from Kate, I confronted him. "I don't want to go, Spencer. You never defend me when Kate treats me badly," I said. He couldn't deny it but asked me again. I agreed to go on 2 conditions: he had to step in when Kate mistreated me, and we had to post clear rules for her in the house. If she didn't follow them, she'd have to leave. Spencer agreed, and I had my friend post the rules while we were away. On the day of the trip, Spencer carried the bags, but Kate immediately snapped, "You don't need to carry those. Let Emily do it." Spencer looked at me apologetically, but I did as she said to avoid more conflict. The trip to the hotel was long, and I was exhausted when we arrived. While I was preparing to check in, Kate shocked me. "Did you think you were staying with us? I only booked for 3. Where should I sleep?" I asked, stunned. "I don't know." "Why don't you camp outside?" she replied coldly. Her cruelty made me furious, but before I could respond, she and my family walked off. I spent the night in a nearby field, too upset to cry. Spencer sent a message saying sorry, but it didn't help. That evening, I called a lawyer, showing him the evidence in case I needed to take legal action. The next morning, I met them for checkout. Kate immediately mocked me, saying, "Did you sleep in the woods? You look filthy." Spencer tried to stop her, but she ignored him and bragged about the hotel. Sin's smile was the only thing that cheered me up. When we got home, Kate was furious. "What's all this? Don't mess with me," she yelled, seeing the rules posted all over the house. Her anger turned to shock when Spencer showed her the $20,000 IOU. At first, she denied it, but eventually, she admitted to using her late husband's life insurance and borrowing more money. Spencer told her firmly, "I can't have someone with that much debt living here. You need to leave." I added, "I have proof of your abuse and will sue if needed." I then played the recording of her mistreatment. She turned pale and, shaken, begged to stay. We agreed to let her stay, but only if she followed the rules and stopped being aggressive. Defeated, she apologized, saying, "I'm very sorry.